Yo folks, welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'll be talking about upcoming gacha for January. A light month as far as gacha goes, but still going to be a fun one with some decent releases. Let's jump right into this. First things being is Eversoul, brought to you by Kakao Games. If you don't know who Kakao Games, it's the people who brought us Guardian Tales and some pretty successful titles. I am really excited for this one because it reminds me a lot of Princess Connect or King's Raid. It's going to have that auto RPG battler aspect to it. If you don't know what that means, essentially you set the units on the field, you place them, and then you cast the skills as the flow of battle's going. And what makes it a little bit different from your typical turn-based is that it's just less hands-on. You can focus more on the story and just the visual style of it. A lot lazier, if you know what I mean. A lot of people don't like it, but personally I love it because I grew up on Princess Connect on this channel. And I just really like that more chilled, laid-back gameplay. And as far as it goes, it's going to be available for installs right now. Just note you can't play it. Within the next couple of hours, you can play it and enjoy it. So let me know in the comments if you like this one. I'll post some guides if I feel like it or if I have the time. But for the most part, really liking Eversoul for this month. Next up, we have Outerplane. This is going to be getting a CBTs right now. You can play it probably on select regions. Hopefully it's going to be globally available because that's what the site says. But for the most part, it's going to be limited, so there's not going to be too many people who can enter and play it. And it's going to be a performance check. What makes this one really special is that this is going to be brought to us by VA Games, a small studio that, brought us other great anime games in the past. But I think what's really nice is it captures more of that anime aesthetic that I've been looking forward to and just something a little bit different. Not to mention it has decent quality to it. So let's see what the opinions are for the CBTs and whatnot. If it's going to be a banger, if it's not, more to come as we flow through January. Next up is Brown Does 2. Now, I know it's not a release, it's going to be an early access, so that means anyone can play. It's going to be available from January 10th through January 17th. And honestly, I'm really surprised with the gameplay and the overall look of this game. I really like it, just what I've been seeing so far, because it has that 3x3, but more of a portrait view. And I know some people don't like forced portrait, or maybe you don't like forced landscape. I am hoping there's going to be sort of the horizontal view for some people because some people like to play that game in that way. But the visual style is what really captures me with this one. It's a good mix of 2D aspects to it, but at the same time semi 3D, almost like that Octopath look in some ways where you have the HD 2D going on. And I'm honestly surprised by how the gameplay looks, just because of the fact that I wasn't expecting this tile set, this sort of effect when you're jumping into the attacks and everything. But I'm hoping it's something similar to another Eden story-wise, because you get to walk in an overworld and get to see everything. And then the PvP aspects are more laid back where you don't have to pay attention to it, but it's extra game content in order to get more bang for your buck in this one. We'll see how the opinions flow as January 10th through 17th is going on, but I know some people who are content creators have access to it. I don't, unfortunately. I've been a little bit too busy, but more to come as the month of January goes. Next up is going to be Higan Arithal. I don't know if this is going to be releasing in January, but I feel like it's going to be in Q1 of 2023. So it's going to be relatively soon. If it does release, I'm going to be really happy. It's going to be combining the 3D RPG aspects and almost like an RTS in some ways, because your units are going to be moving in in a hexagon sort of fashion, and you're going to be casting skills based off of where they're at, and they're going to be doing their auto skills and everything. I think it's going to be a really fun one to look forward to because the anime aesthetics, I would say, is probably the best one as far as 3D goes, maybe competing with something like Eversoul. I'm really hoping this one releases, mostly because it's a light month, but it's going to be a very procured month of this quality releases. So let's see how it goes. Higan Arithal for you. Next up, we have Stardust League. This is going to be also on Steam, which I think is really cool. Now, the only reason why I'm talking about this one is because it's more of a PvP-oriented anime-style game. So think of your, I guess, maybe Battle Royales, except in a more compact format. I think that this is going to be really nice because we don't get a lot of anime-style PvP-based games that are actually decent on this 3D platforms. So most of them are MMORPGs. This is going to have MMORPG aspects to it, but the fact that it's going to be focused on PvP, and I've been looking at some of the gameplay, it looks relatively fun. Nothing as exciting as something like Punishing Grey Raven, in my opinion, or maybe Honkai Star Rail, that in-depth gameplay. But for the most part, it just seems more arcadey, and it seems really fun to me from what I can see. But more to come as we flow through January. Next up, let's talk about the things that have already released and piqued my eyes. First things is Blue Protocol. Now, when I look at this game and the sim style combat, or if you can call it gameplay or combat, whatever, it is a choice driven sort of thing, and it's sort of like does like a random generator of whether you can actually score a goal or, you know, get through like the actual like players or soccer things that you do. I don't know soccer, but it's very bare bones gameplay. If you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. It's a simulation. We'll see how it goes for people, but it's doing really well. JP numbers Y monetization, but maybe it's due to it being an anime. Just be careful of it being like a pump and dump in my opinion. And then we have Lucida Lost Origin. So this is going to be popping up in my eyes because the gameplay, the visual style just looks really nice for it. Well, less so the gameplay, just the visual style. It's going to be KR based as far as I'm concerned. You'll feel free to correct me in the comments in case I'm wrong with this one. But it just looks really good and it just caught my eye. So I thought I'd talk about it, and it's going to be out for select regions. Next up is going to be Chrono Astrea. This is another one that just caught my eye because I was just perusing, trying to find something a little bit more fun. It has that typical pump and dump like sort of UI look to it, but the gameplay is what stands out to me. It's a little bit more different. Not to mention the waifus that you can collect is really fun with this one. So, you know, feel free to give it a try in case you're looking for something to hold you over until we get quality releases. But honestly, Eversoul and Brown Dust 2, Outerplanes, and maybe Higan will keep you plenty busy. And we have Eastern Odyssey. This is going to be out in Philippines, I believe, in early access or select regions as well. It looked really nice from what I can tell, and there's also going to be English like translations within it. So hopefully more people get to try it, and just let me know if you like it or not. For the most part, it's going to have, you know, your typical tile-based RPG. It seems more of like an auto battler, so in case you want something different from Eversoul, you can try this one out as well. Really just liking the overall look for this one, so feel free to check it out. And we got Hunter x Hunter right here. I talked about it in the previous weeks. I think this is just a fun 3D action RPG in case you guys want something like that. And not to mention, since Hunter x Hunter got its revival on its anime, perfect time to just jump in, see the world of like Gon and like the Hunter x Hunter world. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about it, to be honest with you. And finally, some titles that I've been looking forward to and more news on it. First up, One Piece Dream Pointer. Now, I know a lot of people were like, this game is dead, there's no news on it. Alpha Entertainment, if I'm saying that right, you know, just let me know. One Piece Dream Pointer is going to get a publicized version, and it's actually getting authorization to get, you know, some sort of gameplay and releases on it. So that is really cool, especially since like the trademarks of like Oda-san is there, or Oda Sensei. And honestly, One Piece Dream Pointer, the dream come true just to see any news on it. So look forward to it as we flow through the months of 2023. And we have What in the Hell is Bad, an otome adult game starring devils. So I think this is going to be based off of the 7 Deadly Sins, and for the most part, it's going to be an NSFW husbando game in case you guys wanted something like that. I know there's not very many of them, so I'm really liking the fact there's more diversity within our gacha games, and just to see something a little bit different. The husbandos definitely look spicy. You can milk a horn or something. I don't know. Am I allowed to say that? It's not too ecchi, but for the most part, they look in hella spicy, and I think it's going to be something nice, especially since we have new Carnival. Something a little bit different like this one's going to be good to see. And we have Limbus Company. Don't forget, it's going to be releasing next month as far as we're concerned. I don't know if it's going to be the later half of February or the earlier half. Just know it's going to be coming out. I don't think it's going to be popular amongst everyone, but for the ones who love Project Moon and like their type of gameplay, I think it's going to be really nice. The storytelling is going to be pristine. I just know it because it's going to be part of that Lobotomy Company sort of universe. And I think what I like about Limbus Company is that it's just going to be one of those brutal gameplay sort of things, and it's going to be grindy and heavy, and it's just going to be something that you can probably spend all your day on. Something like Arknights in some ways, but completely different gameplay. Don't expect walking into this it's going to be tower defense. It's going to have like its own unique sort of thing. There's going to be a lot of RNG. So if you love those aspects of like having a universe that's actually interesting, then I think Limbus Company is going to be right up your alley, especially with just like the stuff they've teased and like the universe. I'm just excited. Can you tell? Next up is Wuthering Waves. There's going to be devlogs on this on a weekly basis, which I really love. And honestly, the more information they release about it and how focused they are and the gameplay and building like the actual world and having a story behind it, it's just really nice. Not a lot of like gacha games or just like phone games do this sort of stuff. So I love how Kuro Games is taking this stuff seriously, and I'm really looking forward to what Wuthering Waves has for us as we flow through 2023. Hopefully it actually releases. I don't think it's going to be in the first half because there's just more development on it. It doesn't seem like they're satisfied with the final project just yet. I'm just really hyped for this one, so I wanted to talk about Wuthering Waves. And then finally, Honkai Star Rail. Now, hopefully this releases in March 7th, because if you didn't know, that is going to be the name of one of the characters within the game. And I think it's just going to be something really cool to see as we're flowing through the months of Gacha, where Honkai Star Rail is slowly just building up the hype. They've done their world tour, they've shown us the gameplay. Everyone's been hype on this for quite some time. There is going to be some voice acting that's kind of interesting. You know, some Trash Taste members are featured in it. They're not going to say who they are, but you're going to hear their voices once in a while. All that you need to know, Honkai Star Rail, it's going to be a really fun one. I'm really looking forward to it. And that is going to be wrapping up the month of January. Like I said, it's going to be a light month, but there's a lot of stuff to look forward to in 2023. Don't let this deter you, because we are just right on the cusp of like quality stuff coming out, and February is going to be really fun with Limbus Company. That's going to be like just an insane game as far as gacha games go. But anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment. Follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram in case you want to see workouts and what I do IRL. It's going to be a fun 2023. Look forward to it. I know I am, and see you guys in the next one.